him.
Well, him first, I guess.
'Cause he'd protect himself, that's for sure.
Now, you have told me that he made about 48 cents an hour.
That was his hourly pay, was 48 cents.
Wow.
And I've got
You
the
ha-
stubs to prove it.
I know you do. You have the pay stubs. You tell me about when Tom got sick, when he started to get sick and his health started to fail.
Oh, well, he was in school and he didn't play football, but he was the keeper of the football team, you know.
Mhm.
I don't know what
I
they
think he was
called him.
manager.
Yeah, manager.
Okay.
And this one day I was trying to get him up to go to school, and he said, "I don't feel good." And I said, "What's the matter with you?" "I don't know, but I don't feel good, and I'm not going to get up." So he stayed in bed then. Well, he kept getting sicker and sicker, and I called the doctor, and the doctor told me to bring him up to his office. And I said, "Well, the kid's sick." He said, "Well, bring him up here." He said, "Pick him up and carry him to the car." So we took him up there, and here they discovered that he had diabetes.
And how did that change your life?
It changed everything. But he took it very well. Of course, like he says now, he was too young to know anything about it.
Yeah. He was 14 then, right?
Mhm.
Did they teach him to give himself shots, or did you have to give him the shots?
Well, both. They taught him, they kept him in the hospital for 10 days, teaching him to give himself a shot, and he just couldn't do it. And they'd bring an orange into him and a syringe with water in it, and he'd try to give himself a shot in this orange. So he got the feel of pushing the plunger on but he still had trouble shooting himself.
Yeah.
So we did it most of the time, but he did it occasionally. And then he got a thing that does it itself, like you put the syringe in a thing and push a button, and it stabs you. He used that then. But he tested his urine every day. And he took,
That was to get the glucose, the sugar reading,
Mhm.
right? Yeah.
and he did very well with it. I mean, the girl next door to us was a crippled girl. She had her leg taken off. She had an artificial leg. And she used to tell Tom, "Come on out here in the driveway and we'll play a game." She said, "You're a medical student, and I'm a medical student too." She said, "We have to stick together."
You talked about in the book that you had written in. You talked about some of your neighbors from the neighborhood where your first house was located.
Where the first house was. Yeah. What do you want to know about them?
Do you remember any of them?
I remember the one that lived next door to us. She used to get us up in the morning. We didn't even want to hear the alarm.
Now, was that Frank and Anna Macher?
Mm-hmm.
And they had two children. They had Vivian and Bernie.
Mm-hmm.
And you said they'd come over and knock on the window?
She'd come over and she could reach the window from the side of the house, and she'd knock on the window till we answered. We didn't hear the phone, but we heard her knocking.
Now, you said that, you told me Anna brought your supper the first night when you moved.
The night we moved, she brought supper over to us.
It's good to have good neighbors.
She was a good neighbor.
Looking back over your life, what are the things that you're most thankful for?
Well, my family, and neighbors and friends.
Your husband developed Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
Well, he shuffled when he walked from the Parkinson's, and the Alzheimer's, he was bad. He got the idea that I shouldn't. Well, after we moved here, he got the idea that I shouldn't go in the back bedroom there, because somebody was going to shoot me. There's a guy back there with a gun, and he sat right here in the chair. And every time I moved, he wanted to follow me just wherever I was going.
Yeah.
I tried to go to the bathroom, and he said, "That guy's going to shoot you. You better not go back there." I said, "Well, I've got to go back there."
You told me that, of course, when you moved here to Newton Falls, you moved here because it was close to where Sue and I live, right in our backyard,
Yeah.
and we could help. But I think maybe bigger help than me or Sue.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, she used to come over here and get him his breakfast, and then he went to, I can't remember the name of that place that he went for the day.
Over the Rainbow.
Over the Rainbow.
Yeah. Was like an adult daycare
Mhm.
kind of thing. Yeah.
And they picked him up and took him there,
And then would bring him back.
and then
at
bring him back.
like 3 or 4 o'clock.
3 o'clock he came back every day.
Well, I know because then my son, Eric, his great-grandson, would come over here every day after school.
Mhm.
Eric was in elementary school. He was only in 1st or 2nd grade.
And stay here with him and play ball with him, and he'd sit in the chair there, and young Eric would throw the ball to him, and he'd catch it sometimes he didn't catch it. But young Eric would talk to him and keep him occupied.
Well, he listened to Eric.
He listened to him, yeah.
He didn't listen to anybody else.
He didn't listen to anybody.
And I don't remember him listening to anybody else. You have been blessed with a long life and a ton of family. Just, you have family, adopted family, regular family, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren. Why do you think you lived so long? You outlived everybody.
I don't know. I guess it's because I was determined to outlive him.
You were determined. Well, did you tell me? Tell me what Grandpa Rex used to say about living long.
Well, he says that only the good die young. And I said to him, "Well, I must have been really bad." He said, "Ask me about it."
What do you have advice for your grandchildren and great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren?
Just be nice to everybody. Don't dislike everybody. Because you can do a lot more with friends than you can with enemies.
That's good advice. You wrote in this book, you wrote that some of your hobbies were sewing.
Oh, I used to sew a lot for other people too.
That they paid you to make clothes for them?
Men's clothes and stuff like that, yeah. I had 2 or 3 patrons that
Patrons. And you played the guitar?
I don't play it enough that anybody would listen to me, but I took lessons anyway
When did you take guitar lessons?
before I was married.
Were you here in Youngstown, or was that in Nashville?
In Youngstown.
And did you play baseball?
Oh, I played baseball all my life.
They had girls' baseball teams
Mm-hmm.
in school?
In school. And a little colored lady girl put me in my place. She told me what I said was wrong. I said, "Where's the ball at?" She turned around and looked at me. She said, "It's behind the at."
It's behind the at?
At.
Yeah.
I never said it again.
Don't end a sentence with a preposition. That's...
She put me in my place, and I never forgot that. And we were playing at Cheney High School.
Cheney High School in Youngstown.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do you have anything else that you'd like to tell us?
I don't know of anything else. Is there anything else you'd like to know?
Well, I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to ask you this one more time, and see if we can get it right here. I want you to tell me who your birth parents are. Their names.
Randolph Harris
Mm-hmm.
and Ann Harris.
All right. And then you were adopted by...
Jack and Alice Ennis.
And your brother and sister, your brothers and sisters.
My brother is Jesse James Harris, and he goes by Frank because he didn't like Jesse James. And my sister is Ann Sawyers.
Okay.
She had 9 children, and all of them lived.
And your husband, Tom Rex.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me his birth parents' names.
Tom Finch and Catherine Finch. Catherine Kleine Finch.
And his adopted parents' names.
Tom Rex. Thomas Rex. And Clara Rex.
Was that, and so it was George Rex was
Was his uncle.
his, okay. Well, you've told us a lot. And thank you very much for telling me all this.
Well, I'd like to hear this before anybody else does.
I think you did fine.
Can you delete anything that you want to take out?
There's nothing to delete. You're all set.